Peace, y'all. What is good? What is going on? It is the Joey Digital. Just want to say what is up, to see what is good with the collective. Hoping, wishing, praying that your day is as amazing as you all already are. Just got finished coming back in from recording. You know, definitely had to hit the beach up, had to hit the ocean up. Hence the name, the Ocean Experience. All right. Yeah, I was down there. I had a great time. Wasn't down there as long as I usually am down there for, but nevertheless, I had a great time. Lots of fun. It was a beautiful day. The sun was out. There was a lot of people. You know, it wasn't as hot as usual because I went a little bit later in the afternoon. How has your week been? First, I want to ask you, how has your week been? Let me know in the comment section down below. You know, I am sending y'all waves of positive energy, hoping that your week has been blessed, full with joy, and you know, all that good stuff. Yeah, and one other thing that I want to talk about before I get going, of course, good news, is I want to thank all of the current and new subscribers for checking out the content. I want to say thank you so much for your continued support. And if you're new to the channel, I want to thank you for checking in and hitting that like button. And I just want to say that I hope, wish, and pray that I continue to provide a quality YouTube experience for you all, you know, and if I do, just know that your support is greatly appreciated. All right. Yeah, so I want to ask everybody, how have y'all been since the Mercury retrograde ended and the Lionsgate portal ended? I'm asking y'all, how do y'all feel about everything? You know, because we're in a new space. Clearly we're in a new space, all right? And surely y'all have heard of the term outer space, but I want to talk about inner space. You know, I want to talk about the space within. When I say within, I'm talking about your heart and your mind, you know what I mean? And I want to ask y'all, definitely, you know, hop in the comment section, and I want to ask y'all, how has things been since the Lionsgate portal shift and the everything else? I'm trying to think of, I just said it. Yo, hit that like button. Anyways, the the Mercury retrograde. All right, I'm wilding, right? Yeah, I want to know, how have things been for you all since these changes have happened, you know, and have you seen the shift internally? If you have, definitely, you know, if you feel comfortable, share it with the collective. You know, it could just be something subtle, or it could be something massive. It could be a breakthrough. I don't believe a lot of us that are on this journey will be doing a lot of shadow work right now, you know, because a lot of us have already done a lot of the shadow work previously. But if you are called to do the shadow work, or face your inner self, face the dark areas and bring it to the light so that you could take that dark energy and make it positive, then I commend you for being on the journey and taking the time to really work not on yourself but in yourself, just so that you can know your own self on a deeper level. You know, I am just noticing the change. You know, it's still, of course, it's still the same earth, it's still the same earth, Mother Earth, Gaia. You know, when we're out in nature, which I was earlier. I actually have a video I'm gonna be editing that soon. As soon as I get off the live, I'm going to be editing that, and you know, if it's not done this evening, then maybe tomorrow. But it's the same earth, but it just feels different. You know, like, you know, I'll speak about myself personally. Like, I feel more confident. Like, I feel really in my own energy. You know, I feel in my own energy. I feel really confident, and it's not the kind of confidence that comes from having a lot of ego, which I have been making videos about stepping into your ego, which it wasn't the title, but it was topics that I would speak about throughout the duration of some of my videos, which, you know, it's an amazing asset as far as building the awareness to know that you are worthy to be in certain spaces. But however, the energy that I'm in right now, it's a confidence, but it's not an ego confidence. It's a confidence of just knowing. It's just a knowing of, you know, my self-worth, what I bring to the table, you know, whether it's mentally, whether it's tangibly, you know, and I feel really good about what I'm seeing, you know, and of course, you know, I'm very open. If I do need to work on other areas, I'm very open to work on those areas if I need to. Um, you know, it's still early. The Lionsgate portal is closed, so you know, if anything comes up where I may need to work on it, I'm definitely open. But for right now, I'm feeling good. You know, I feel really good. I feel really um, I feel like a calmness, you know, like it's like a nice calm feeling. I don't know if this is what y'all feel. Definitely hit me in the comments, you know. But just a little bit about myself before, you know, I get into the video. But mostly, it's it's a really good energy. I don't, you know, I don't know if you feel this, but most cases you're probably feeling more called to get out into nature, use some of those vacation days if you have them, you know, hint, hint, you know what I mean? And not just to like go out and do whatever, you know, maybe you may be called to do more rest, you know. And for my early risers, you know, my people who wake up early and, you know, you're very goal orientated and you're very motivated, that rest could just mean not having to jump up and do 10 things before a certain hour. Okay, it could just, you could just be called to really relax and sit in that energy that you have cultivated from the days, the months, the years of all the work that you've been putting in on yourself. And you may just be like, hey, you know what? Y'all good? I'll be there tomorrow. I'm not coming in. You know what I mean? Y'all might do one of those. Hit the like button. You know what I mean? Hey, you know, and you deserve it. That's what the time is there for, you know, from our working people. You know, I'm not saying call out every day because you already know you call out more than 2 days, they're gonna want to know, hey, you know, you good? You know what I mean? But you know, it's neither here nor there. Anyways, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but you may be feeling really called to just relax and really sit in that energy that you created for your life, and you may be called to really, you know, just not be distracted, you know, while you sit in that energy. You know, you really can just sit there and bask in the energy of, you know, positivity. You know, you have been doing, I know you have been doing a lot of the self work. A lot of us have been doing our push ups, you know, our pull ups, our dips, all of that type of stuff, calisthenics. And others of us may just be walking a lot more, which is amazing as well. And I just want to say, if that is what you are doing, keep up the excellent work. A lot of us are drinking water, drinking more water, and you know, whatever it is that you're doing to cultivate that positive space in your life, it is showing in this season of your life. And a lot of us may even be attracting new love interests. All right, maybe, now take this if it resonates, because not everybody is looking for love in this season. Some of us are good, some people are good, just rocking out, doing your own thing, and others are really doing the work to get back on the saddle and really get back out here and really find your divine counterpart, or I don't know if it's safe to say mirror, someone that's showing you, or someone that you can show them, but y'all can be on the same level and y'all can even be in the same energy, and if that is you, congratulations for beating all of the, I don't even want to say negative self-talk, but just beating all of the odds, going against all odds, going against the feelings of not feeling good enough or not feeling worthy, and you are now in that space where your worth, and that you are worthy of love, you are worthy of amazing friendship, you are worthy of an amazing courtship or a love situation. Some people may even be getting married this year, and I think that's beautiful. Any kind of union, is beautiful, even if it's a union with yourself, you being unified with your true self, whether it's again or for the first time. I just want to say that it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful space to be in, and I'm super happy for you, to even be in this space, where, you're waking up and you're recognizing who you are when you look in the mirror, and you're loving who you are when you look in the mirror, and you feel confident, and, you may even be called to upgrade your wardrobe, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you are more modern with what people are wearing right now. Maybe you have been pulled away from what you used to like to wear, and maybe you're being called to have a new wardrobe of the style that you used to wear, but it's more refined, and all of these things are going to build your confidence. It's going to build your self-esteem. It's going to build you. And when you see yourself building yourself first, then other people will notice you building yourself, and they want to be a part of that journey because they're building themselves as well. It's not necessarily a situation of this person has big things going on, so let me sit on their coattail while they go through the door. It's not like that. We are attracting, we are not chasing, you know what I mean? We are attracting people who are on our level. They are doing the work as well. When we look at them, we see motivation to be ourselves. When they look at us, they see motivation to be themselves. It could be inspiration. It could be, it could just be it could have started from an intuition. It could have been an intuitive thought. It could have been a thought to just say, hey, let me do the work so that in this season I can show up as my true authentic self. And because you had that intention, now you are showing up. And because you are confident, you are instilling confidence in other people. I don't know if you've heard the phrase, what you do now goes on into eternity, So when you are doing that self-love, that self-work, and you are really taking the time out for yourself, that energy is going on into eternity. And as it's going into eternity, you are inspiring many different people. A lot of them you may never meet. A lot of them, they may never tell you you have inspired them, but you did, or you have, or you will, or you are. And I think that's a beautiful thing, I think that's amazing because, y'all have seen my videos in the past about fighting battles, taking the armor off, dropping your swords and your shields, the whole Those videos that I was creating, you know, they're in my feed. You can go and watch them. But you know, this is definitely not that energy. This is a different energy. This is like a more of a Zen kind of space where you are balanced. You know what I mean? You are balanced. You are feeling love first from the self-love. You're not waiting to be validated. You're not waiting to go outside into the world for people to love you, you know. And you know, believe it or not, you actually are a magnet because you are doing that. You know what I mean? Hit that like button. You are a magnet. Yes, you are a magnet. You are a magnet, and I'm here to tell you, you deserve everything that you believe you deserve. You know, you believe you deserve to win, you deserve it. You know, and I don't need to tell you that. You know, you already telling yourself that because in this season right here, it's a calm confidence. The confidence is there. You know what I mean? It's there. It's here. It's here. It's there. You know what I mean? It's everywhere. It's abundant. You know what I mean? You can reach out and grab it. You know, and it's yours. You know, and you get to pick and choose this time. You don't have to check in with anybody to see if it's okay to live. You know, to see if it's okay to live a certain way, to see if it's okay to do a certain thing. Hope I'm not triggering anybody. If I am, I apologize. But let's untrigger that by saying that season is over and this season is here. This season is, you know, you are okay. You are okay with things just being, you know, because that's what you are doing. You are just being, you know. You just want to be. And this is what the work is for. You know, even if you don't do a lot in this particular season of your life and all you do is just rest and do things that are fun and do things that put a smile on your face, you deserve it. You know, you deserve to be happy. You know, you deserve to have people around you that want to see you happy, that are happy as well. You know, what's the word? Reciprocity. You know, as you pouring into people, they're pouring into you, so you never lose your energy, your strength, your abundance, your ability to have foresight or insight or sight. You know what I mean? You're not losing your sight. You know, it's a very zen kind of positive, pure energy, and you know we're in it. You know, we're in it and we're enjoying it. And you know, whether you're out in the heart of nature or you know you haven't got outside yet or you're inside like I am right now, you know, you can still take that energy from the heart of nature and bring it into your energy body and bring it into your what's the word I want to use? Your energy space, you know, your whole field of energy. You can bring that experience that you experienced at the park or at the beach or at the ocean or at the lake, and you can take that happiness and bring it into your everyday life. You don't necessarily have to be in nature all day. That's a confirmation. You don't have to be in nature all day to feel the energetical benefits of when you are in nature. Okay, you can. That's the whole thing about being in nature is you're even if you're only there for an hour, you take that energy and you carry it with you. You know, and some of us we have to go into the city. Some of us everything is the city, and there's nothing wrong with the city. You know, it's just you know, for once in your life, you're relaxing. You know, it's not like hustling. You know, we are not chasing anymore. You know what I mean? We're not chasing. We're attracting. We're attracting everything. We're attracting anything. Now, when I say anything, I mean positive stuff. I'm not meaning, you know, stuff that is mundane or things that cannot benefit us, or we're not attracting, you know, basic stuff. We're attracting greatness, you know, and it starts with us, you know, and it starts with, you know, this portal that we just came out of, this Lionsgate portal it was different, man. Like I felt really okay. Now again, I'm gonna talk about myself a little bit. This past week or two, you know, because I did have a video about becoming the observer, and again, that wasn't the title of the video, but it was the message inside of the video. You know, I kind of like to sprinkle little gems in my videos, so I can't necessarily tell you which video to go to, but it's in there. It's a recent video, but because I became the observer, I did see a lot of crash outs. You know what I mean? Not physical crash outs or nothing, but just people just everything is fine and then blah. You know what I mean? And different stuff, and just observing all of that. You know, in my mind, I was always taught that whenever you see something very toxic or very, anxious happen, that usually means there's a big blessing that's on the way. It's a huge blessing coming to you that's on the way. And that's why the crash out is there, is to see what you're going to pay attention to. You know, in my videos, I always say, whatever you focus on is what grows, So, because you haven't focused on those crash outs, because you didn't focus on those people, you didn't sympathize with the other two people that crashed out, and you pick a side between this one or that one, you just kind of stayed back and observed. They dealt with their stuff, and you were able to keep your energy cultivated and reciprocated within yourself. So in return, now that we're on the other side of the Lionsgate portal, now you're able to create friendships, and they're pouring into you the same way as you pour into them. And it's going to be, for a lot of us, it's kind of like, not a weird feeling, but, like you might meet people and you might find, like, you might feel like it's love at first sight. And, throughout time, you realize it was just an angel, It's like a human angel. Like, you might feel like, because that was how it was, the program used to run. It's like, oh, I'm falling in love. But then when you meet the person and you see this is how they really live, like they live like an angel, and you just say to yourself, like, wow, like I would never want to mess that up. So there's a lot of that going on too, where like you're just meeting angels along the way. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like a love situation. It could be like, too, I've met some people recently that have really come in like an aunt or like a grandmother, or like a, just like that embracement, just that unwaverness of love, that they're coming in, and it's like, you feel like you could drop your bags a little bit, you know what I mean? And you feel like, man, because everybody's been so programmed to be on guard and can't trust nobody. Only person you can trust is yourself. And then when you look at yourself in the mirror, you don't know if you can trust yourself or not because of the past or the future. And then it's like everything just dissipates, and it's like all we have is now. And because we focusing on now, we are able to recognize that we are walking past angels every single day. And I don't know, maybe if everyone on this page believes in angels. I do. I love, angelic energy. I show y'all my selenite all the time. That's a crystal for those of y'all who don't know. Crystal. I'm not gonna grab it right now. I have it over there. I could grab it, but I love angelic energy. I just love being around people who are, positive for themselves. Not positive because I'm there, or because they are putting on for me or anything like that, but just, it's like a kind of positivity where it's like they would be doing this even if I wasn't there, and I love being around that kind of energy, man. I love that stuff. And I know I said it was going to be a short story about me, but I guess I made it a long rant. I apologize. But yeah, you're going to be coming in contact with people who, they're just very inspirational in helping us get back to that love that we had, as kids, or, it's a lot of downloads coming through, man. Go ahead and hit that like button real quick. I'm gonna get back to that in a second. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Go ahead, if y'all want to support me, go ahead and buy my books. Links are in the description. You know what I mean? Or in some of my other videos, y'all want to support that, go ahead. And the best support ever is a thumbs up or subscription. That would be greatly appreciated. So, anyways, like I was saying before I interrupted myself, I I realized that you can really just relax in this season. You can relax.